Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you set 3 of this best of 5 series in the Tving OSL between Jangbi and Mini. So far, Jangbi has looked extremely impressive, going up 2-0 against Mini. And I think in the first two sets, what we've seen is basically Jangbi outclassing Mini. We've seen far superior micro, and looking at Mini, I don't look at what he's done and say, hey, he's really screwing up. Look at this, look at that, look at how bad he's playing, anything like that. I don't really see it that way. I just see him being simply outclassed by a superior player. That's how I'm looking at the series so far. Is Jamie just playing better micro, better decisions in where he's positioning on those high ramps, and Mini falling for a lot of baits and things, fighting up ridges when he really shouldn't, and pushing out when he shouldn't. Just some errors being made here in the Ro8 candidate. Should Mini fall here in this game, Jangbi will sweep 3-0, advance to the semifinals to play the winner of Hiva versus Zero, and potentially become a repeat OSL champion. The only two other OSL repeat champions are Boxer and Jadon, back-to-back champions. So he would be the third player to win back-to-back, and he would also be the last champion for the OSL. How interesting would that be? The OSL ends just as Jangbi wins back-to-back. How awesome would that be? As a Jangbi fan, I can't think of any better way to end Brood War Star League than that, to have Jangbi win back-to-back. Here on Neo Electric Circuit, we are going to have the great almighty Jangbi here in the top left in blue, and in the top right, we're going to have our Royal Rotor Mini in yellow, trying to extend this series. And what will he come up with in this game? Will he pull out the cheese? Will he pull out DTs? Will he pull out proxy gates? What is going to happen? I don't know. I'm interested to see what he'll come up with, just because I think it's come to the point where it's just, screw it, let's do something fun. Let's get creative here and see what we can do, and that's what I'm thinking that Mini will do. That's my intuitive guess. Doesn't mean anything, of course, other than a guess. And there's Jangbi's picture. Not really sure what that says. Can't even see his face. He looks I'm not sure what that picture really is. Usually you see the guys like smiling, thumbs up in, looking like they're awesome and they're just gonna win everything. And Jangbi with I think that there's more meaning to that poster than I'm able to ascertain, simply because I don't read Korean. And I love those apps. Those apps are fun on those phones. Unfortunately, again, don't read Korean, so I don't understand. I'm thinking that's GG. I'm guessing that's GG because it's the same symbol right at the end with exclamation points. I'm thinking GG. I don't actually know. I'm just thinking those like, I don't know, L upside down L shaped, capital L shaped characters, or GG. I don't know. That's just my guess. Well, we got standard stuff here coming in from both players. We got Gateway Simulator coming in for Jangbi, and now he's going for the Scout After Simulator. Looks like same thing coming in for Mini to start with. If you take a look at the crowd once more, she doesn't even realize it. And I noted with Ominous that it seems like a lot of the crowd and at these events don't seem to care about the camera as much. I mean, you still get the people that shy away and dive and stuff like that, but it seems like it's a lot less prevalent these days that they are as afraid of being on camera. And the two probes actually both scouting out the middle of the map, and neither of them scouting at quite the appropriate time to see each other, I don't think. Although Jangbi is going to go straight to the top right, seeing that there's no proxy in the middle, and will be getting the first scout on. So there we go. We have Jangbi seeing that first zealot produced as well, so he knows the cybernetics core timing as well. And will Jangbi skip that first zealot in order to get a cybernetics core out that much earlier? That is something that he does a lot. He skips that first zealot, gets his dragoons out early, and then gets his zealots later. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Going to get the dragoons out early, zealots out late, going counter to traditional build orders, but it can work perfectly fine. You get a little bit more pressure on with the early dragoons, and as long as you don't delay your zealots too much, you won't lose the inevitable fight that comes. You still need those zealots as your tanks, as your just meat shields for your dragoons to counter your opponent's zealots. Cybernetics core already spinning for Jangbi before Mini has not quite completed, very close, and I'm sure that he will spin that cybernetics core as soon as it's done. It is completed, and not yet spinning. Looks like he's waiting for something, probably waiting for 150, 150. No, still not spinning. Huh. Not sure what he's waiting for. Needs to get that Cybernetic score spinning in order to counter the range that Jangbi will have. Okay, so the Zealots finally pick off Jangbi's probe, kind of sloppy there, and the Cybernetic score does start spinning. I don't really know what he was waiting for there. Maybe trying to hope that maybe he could get Jangbi thinking that something weird was coming, but really? I mean, come on. Really? I don't think it's worth your time, but I guess Mini thought it was, and Jangbi is throwing up that second gate, is going to put on some pressure with 2 gate goons to start, and looking to see if he has any other tech buildings up. Does not appear to be so. And we got something at the 12 o'clock position, possibly a Dragoon from Jangbi, checking that position out. No, it looks like it would have been from Mini, maybe. Looking to see if there was any hidden probes or anything like that. We're going to have 3 gateways from Mini here. 4 gateways from Mini, so Mini is going all in here. 4 gateways, and has only 1 probe on gas? Yep, only 1 probe on gas, so he's going all in on the 4 gateways, and it looks like he's actually thinking about expanding as well, or he's... No, that wouldn't make any sense at all. It looks like he's just going to go back and maybe put down a pylon to make sure there isn't any sneaky business. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing, just to make sure there's no sneaky business. A couple Dragoons out is all ready for Jangbi, going to try and pick at these Zealots, and actually doing a pretty good job of it. Did a lot of damage to that Zealot, and this probe for Mini is going to get into the base of Jangbi. No, not quite. Not sure if you guys can see the robotics facility. That is going to be close. Unlike StarCraft 2, we can't go ahead and look at the vision of Mini, so we don't know for sure whether or not he saw that robotics facility. Is extremely close, and yeah, we just don't know at this time. Now, Jangbi, as he fights here, if Mini doesn't hide any Dragoons, Jangbi will notice very quickly that this is 4-gate goons. I think Mini would be well advised to try and hide some of his Dragoons as he produces them, and Jangbi almost picking off one of the Dragoons from Mini, not quite able to do so, and now we get to see the first-person view of Jangbi as he tries to micro this. And how will he do this? He does manage to pick off one of the Zealots, but he loses a Dragoon in the process. He's going to pick off a Dragoon as well, but going to lose a second as well, so he's down to 2 Dragoons and is in full retreat right now. It looks like I saw him throwing down an observatory as well. That could be a very, very poor judgment on Jangbi's part, going for that observatory. He's going to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is a robotic support bay. My bad. That was a robotic support bay, so we'll be getting those Reavers out ASAP, and he will absolutely 150% need a Reaver out as soon as possible to help defend against this. He only has the 2 gateways right now. We could see him throw down a third, but he absolutely needs more stuff to defend against Mini's 4-gate pressure here. And here it comes. Here we go. We got the Zealot. We got about 5 or 6 Dragoons out there as well. 5 Dragoons coming here and pushing in now. Will Jangbi, with his probes, be able to defend against this? He is going for it. The probes going and going for a little bit of a drill. Are going to catch that Zealot. And the Zealot does go down. The probes continuing to micro. Are going to trap another Dragoon. So another Dragoon is almost going down, but not quite going down. There it goes. Now it finally does go down. And the probes for Jangbi again. Jangbi's probes are so good. I'm reminded of a couple years ago when Jangbi played Bisu on Byzantium. Jangbi went 1-gate core against 4-gate goon. Cross-bat positions on Byzantium. Jangbi won that game with fantastic probes, able to just box in one after another Dragoons. But Mini coming back in here once again. Jangbi pulling off probes, seeing if he can do it once more. Maybe try and continue to get that a probe micro, and that Reaver at risk. Mini going for it, gonna try and pick off that Reaver, and the shuttle not able to pick it off. Jangbi with a huge mistake. Jangbi now making the air looking sloppy here in the in game 3 of this OSL quarterfinal. Jangbi looking a little sloppy here, still microing as well as he can, almost picking off that Dragoon, not quite able to do so. Now he's at 6 Dragoons to 4, should manage to pick off a couple more, does manage to pick off 2, he's gonna pick off another one as well, and some excellent shuttle micro picking up that Dragoon that was taking shots, but unfortunately still managing to lose a couple more Dragoons. This is a very intense micro fight, and it looks like Jangbi may have actually managed to fight this one to a draw. He does not have control of his natural expansion. Mini is still there, but Jangbi able to fight it to a draw so far, still looking for a Reaver to pop out, and Mini is hoping to pick that off immediately. As soon as it comes out, he's hoping to pick it off. Right now he's just taking pot shots at the robotics facility and just trying to bait that Reaver as soon as it comes out. And now the probes coming off the line once more to try and help these Dragoons fight those, help Jangbi fight the Mini Dragoons, and they are doing an excellent job as well. And here comes the Reaver. Reaver is in play with a Scarab, and a lot of probes have gone down. That particular fight, Jangbi lost a ton of probes. Looks like I saw maybe 6 or 7 probes lost in just that one fight, maybe more actually, in that one little fight alone. So Jangbi looking a little bit low on probe saturation right now, but he is still alive, and that Reaver still doing damage now. Going to get another Scarab out, and is doing an excellent job microing that Reaver. Look at that excellent Reaver micro, and picking off 2 more Dragoons. So Jangbi holds. Jangbi survives the 4-gate Goon, and he's at a supply advantage. Now, he's not at a probe advantage. Let's make sure that's well known. He has lost a lot of probes, and so he is definitely at a probe disadvantage. But he does have more tech out, does have more stuff so far. Although, yeah, it's pretty close. Actually, it's basically even in terms of stuff. But definitely, Jangbi managing to hold that excellently done. Excellent probe micro, and just managed to fend off that 4-gate Goon. Jangbi's observer is now in play as well, seeing that there is no mineral only expansion going up, and Jangbi now has got to be thinking about taking expansion of his own. Turtle up, get your Reavers out, play defensive, get your expansion. He's got to be thinking about it, as Mini is just building up forces at home. And will Jangbi go for it, or will he play defense, or will he just continue to produce units? And he is bringing a probe to his natural expansion, and no expansion yet. No expansion quite yet. Jangbi has not made that decision, just trying to maybe pull out a couple more units before he puts it down, but there it is. There is the Nexus going down. Jangbi is going to go for that natural expansion, so he will cede the offensive totally and utterly to Mini and just turtle up and hope to let the Eco win this game. That is his hope right now. Mini is going to have to do something about that. Even if he takes an expansion right now, he should be even enough that it won't be a big deal. But if he delays too long, he will be forced into the aggressor role, or else he will simply lose to an economic disadvantage. That Nexus for Jangbi almost halfway completed right now. It looks like Mini is looking to take an expansion of his own. He's got that probe in position. And, I mean, he will be at a disadvantage economically if he waits and he puts down that Nexus even now, but it would be enough, close enough that you wouldn't think that he's, completely out of it or anything like that. Robotics support bay just finished for Mini, so he's going to be going Reavers himself. And for Jangbi, just building up those forces, probably still producing some Reavers. And Jangbi looks like he's actually looking to move out right now, thinking that he can hit this timing before Mini has Reavers and Shuttles really in position properly. He's going to try and hit and see what damage he can do to Mini. And again, we're going to have one of those control fights. Mini has thrown up his natural expansion. It is halfway completed. Jangbi should have just finished, so Jangbi will have the expansion up a little bit earlier. And here come the Dragoons and the Shuttle Reaver for Jangbi. No speed on that shuttle, by the way. Definitely something that Jangbi goes for every now and then, but not in this case. Just managed to get a couple scarabs off, just doing splash damage, nothing too major here. And Mini, splitting up his Dragoons here, very, very wise, can try and bring those Dragoons on the left side. Will try and, if those Reavers push in too far, or Jangbi pushes in too hard, those Reavers will hug that left side wall, push out, and try and pick off a Reaver or a shuttle. That would be their next goal here. The Reaver's taking pot shots at that Nexus right now, which is definitely not good. Mini will not be able to do any sort of a probe transfer or anything like that. And here comes Mini, gonna try and pick off that Reaver. Oh my god, Jangbi with some fail! Jangbi with some fail micro there. Jangbi fail, Jangbi fail micro. Unable to pick up that Reaver and move out, and loses both shuttles and the Reaver. Jamie completely failing in that, oh man, that was awful. Jamie completely screwing that up, and loses both Reavers and the shuttle. So far this game he's lost 3 Reavers and 2 shuttles. So a lot of tech units have fallen for Jamie. He is going to manage to save this observer just barely. 1 hit left on it. Thankfully, shields do regenerate, so he did manage to save that observer simply because shields regenerate, thankfully. And so, I'm going to be able to keep that observer in play, at least somewhat, and keep some vision on his opponent. Jamie is throwing down some extra gateways. Mini is finally starting to take advantage of his expansion as well. Is throwing down his second assimilator. Jamie has not yet taken his second assimilator. You do see Jamie sitting on about 630 gas, so doesn't really need that gas right now. Doesn't need that second gas, needs to continue building units, so he's just going to delay that assimilator timing for now. Jamie continuing to produce pylons as well to produce supply for his units. He doesn't really need them. He still has 22 supply room, and it looks like Mini's got about 40 room. Yeah, 35 room. Somewhere in there. Mini definitely has the advantage in supply right now. Losing those 2 shuttles and the Reaver recently is going to keep Jamie down for quite some time. It looks like we're in that phase of a PvP where both players are just building up, scouting each other out, building up their forces, building their death balls, and then they're going to push out and try and kill each other. And just kind of a wait-and-see period to see if anyone goes for any interesting tech choices. There is the Citadel of Adun for both players, almost exact timing, so neither player should have an advantage in speed. They should be done close enough that there would be no advantage. JB coming back in, with a Shuttle Reaver combination, maybe looking to see if he can get another pot shot off on anything. Nope, not yet. Just have those 2 Reavers in there. And Mini now pushing out as well, so it looks like we're going to have a big fight here. Yes, here it comes. Here comes a big fight. And prepping up, and Jangbi gets the first Scarabs off. Will he get some more? And that shuttle for Jangbi is going to actually still being allowed to live. One of the Reavers does go down, and Mini actually looking far better in his micro in this fight, managing to pick off a Reaver. But no, the second Reaver for Mini does go down, so Jangbi actually pulling out ahead. I thought Mini was looking pretty good with this micro there for a little bit, but Jangbi just out-targeting Mini by the end, and his Reaver and shuttle is still alive, so Mini is going to be forced to retreat all the way to his home. And what will he be able to defend here? The Reaver for Jangbi does go down, not able to be picked up by the shuttle, and that will mean that Jangbi will be in full retreat, and Mini would be well advised to try and pick off that shuttle, so that way Jangbi has to produce another one. And it looks like that shuttle actually did live, so Jangbi will be able to continue to produce Reavers, will not have to reproduce that shuttle, which is actually pretty important, that he'll be able to get those Reavers out that much quicker. We are about 14.5 minutes into this game. A Forge now going down, as well as a Templar Archives for Jangbi. He does have a second gas up as well. And for Mini, I expect that we'll have the Forge up pretty shortly as well. And to try and get those upgrades for your units. Try and make it so that way you can your units are just more valuable and more powerful than your opponents. And taking a look at Mini's base, we don't see the Forge yet. We see the Citadel still up there. Don't see the Templar Archives. And Jangbi actually taking his mineral only right now. So he is going to go for the superior economy once more. See if he can defend and go for that superior economy. There's the Templar Archives and the Forge, just slightly later than Jangbi, but still going up. Jangbi's Forge is spinning, going to be working on those upgrades. And for Mini, he's actually going to take his third, not at his mineral only, but at that 3 o'clock base where he could get a third gas. If he can get a third gas, he'll be able to start producing Dragoons and High Templar at ridiculous rates out of his gateway. We could even see an eventual tech up into Arbiters, theoretically. You do eventually, if it gets that late. If the game goes that long, you will eventually see the players convert into some Arbiters as well. Not as likely, but it does happen eventually. Don't usually see games go too much longer than this. This is one of the longer PvPs you'll see. We're at almost 16 minutes, and that is definitely, we're starting to get into a late PvP. And he does land a Dark Templar, going to go for some harassment here. And did Mini see it? I don't know if he saw anything. And that DT is going to kill one probe, and now he's going to know. Looks like that's a cannon coming up in the mineral line, but there really is no mineral line. So there's 3 mineral patches left, and all of them are almost dead. So not a whole lot left for Mini to even defend there. But he's going to throw up the cannon anyways. Doesn't want those DTs having fun with him or messing anything up. And it looks like Mini's going to go on the offensive here, checking out the 12 o'clock position, seeing nothing there. So now he's going to go straight for Jangbi. And Jangbi has actually morphed an Archon with those Reavers. So he's going to have a solid tank defense with that Archon in play. Those Zealots for Mini will not be able to do much of anything, will not be able to bridge the gap to those Dragoons because that Archon is so powerful. With that splash damage, we'll be able to destroy Zealots very, very easily. It's kind of a tic-tac-toe. When you look at Zealots, Dragoons, and Archons, Zealots beat Dragoons, Dragoons beat Archons, Archons beat Zealots. So you kind of have that tic-tac-toe matchup going on as you try and gauge your opponent's composition, and you try and counter it with your own. And here comes Mini with some harassment of his own, going to go DT and Reaver, and Jangbi going to see that Reaver, the DT drop, the Reaver drop, and the Reaver going to get a kill. I think I got one, but the more important fact is that it is going to kill that photon cannon. There it goes, and Jangbi is tracking that DT. That DT is starting to get some kills here. 2 kills, 3 kills, 4. It could have gotten a 4th. Hasn't quite got. What is Jangbi doing? Gonna lose so many probes here. Oh my God, Jangbi. Oh my lord. Jangbi loses so many probes. So many probes. So many probes. And so Mini, with all those gateways, morphing Archons of his own, able to defend against that DT of Jangbi, just not nearly doing as much damage as the harass of Mini. And so Mini gonna get that 3rd gas up and running as well. This game has just gone back and forth, but it's starting to turn towards Mini's advantage now. And that DT for Jangbi does go down. Mini is harvesting gas from that 3rd base. I don't think Jangbi has any idea that that's there. I think Jangbi still thinks that he's up 3 bases to 2 right now, and that is going to be a problem. If he thinks that he's actually ahead in bases, just behind maybe a little bit in probes, that is not going to be a position of wisdom here. And Jangbi looking to get a little aggressive, but just backing off. Both players just moving their armies around. Mini knows that he's winning right now, so he just wants to defend, keep his third base, keep that third gas rolling. And if he can get all of his tech rolling at once, Archons, High Templar, potentially Arbiters, it's just going to be so powerful. You will see the players stop producing Reavers at this point. They are so micro-intensive that when you get to armies this size, it just starts pushing the human capacity to click buttons effectively once you start trying to micro shuttles and Reavers as well. And here we go. We are going to have that huge fight, and Jangbi actually backing off here as the Reavers for Reaver or for Mini actually come into play. And Jangbi still using his Reavers, still keeping them out in front to try and do as much damage as they can, and none of them actually do go down. And it looks like Jangbi's actually winning these engagements, I think. Yeah, it looks like he's actually picking off a few more units than Mini is able to do so. Even in these big, huge matchups, we're seeing Jangbi come out slightly ahead in just the micro of it all. So shocking, really. I gotta say that Jangbi is able to win even in these large engagements, small engagements. Jangbi is just out microing for the most part in this series. Now he has had a couple blunders in this game, particularly that has given Mini a lot of hope. But we are going to have another push, and Jangbi now looking to actually just try and push. And 4 Reavers from Mini. I am totally wrong. They are continuing to produce Reavers. 4 Reavers still alive from Mini. Are you freaking kidding me? 2 Reavers for Jangbi, and they just pick off one of the Reavers for Mini. And this is just, both players are just out of units right now. They're both just killing everything. There's like no units left on the field. Reavers just trading shots right now, and Jangbi actually is, both players are going to lose their Reavers, and Jangbi with units left over could actually push into the 3 o'clock base. That's exactly where he's heading. The natural expansions for both players are starting to get a little low on minerals, so he's going to look to try and take down this 3 o'clock base. Not sure if he's going to be able to do so before Mini's reinforcements come. Here come Mini reinforcements. Jangbi is going to have to force to turn around and fight here, and Mini still producing Shuttle Reaver brings back another Reaver, so yeah, still producing so much gas from Mini. Producing Reavers, producing High Templars, producing Archons. Haven't seen any Storm actually from either player. I've seen the Archons, but no Storm actually researched or completed yet. We could be seeing that shortly here from either or both players. We are well aware of Jangbi's epic Storm capabilities. Unfortunately for him, he is 30 supply down. He is significantly. 30 supply is very significant at this point. He is going for a 4th base, wants to get his 3rd gas going now, but it is going to be a far later 3rd gas than Mini. Mini continuing to morph Archons at this time. So he is going to try and go for that brute force strategy, and Jangbi doing the same, morphing his own Archons to counter, as well as to counter all the Zealots. Now neither player really has many Dragoons left alive. It looks like Mini has 0 Dragoons, and Jangbi maybe has half a dozen, 3, 6, 7 Dragoons left. So very few Dragoons for both players, so Archons are going to be very, very effective. Reavers as well will be extremely effective in this type of matchup, and it looks like Mini has finally finished researching Storms. He does have 3 High Templar wandering around with his army, very likely to cast Storms. Can't imagine late Archons, that would just make no sense. So they will be casting Storms and then merging into Archons. And yeah, I mean, just look at this. It's 40 supply advantage for Mini right now, and Mini's going to try and force the engagement here. He feels like he's in the advantage and going to try and force it, and Jangbi just trying to bide his time right now. Drawing Mini's forces south actually is good for him. Going to give him time for maybe that 12 o'clock position to get into play. We do have +2 weapons on Jangbi, +1 weapons on Mini right now, so Jangbi's army is a little bit more potent unit for unit, but Mini has a lot more units. And there's a storm coming down from Mini, good storm there, and Mini is going to be able to destroy this 12 o'clock base. There's just no way that Jangbi's going to be able to defend it. Another storm coming down, that one not as effective, but still doing some damage, and Jangbi retreating to the south here. Mini going to storm right into the macro expansion with some Zealots, and Jangbi still in retreat, dodging storms relatively effectively here, and it looks like Jangbi's going to go for a counterattack on the 3 o'clock with some forces while he tries to defend at the same time. Yes, that is a Reaver as well as a Zealot getting in there, and the cannons do look like they're going to go down, but will Jangbi be able to hold? That's the question here. Will Jangbi be able to hold? And here comes Mini coming in for an attack, going to try and pick off that Reaver, does pick it off, and not actually going in there all the way is Mini. Thinking about it, but not quite willing to do so, not quite willing to be pincered here. Mini does manage to defend his 3 o'clock expansion, but there is a DT still there, picking off High Templar now, and High Templar storm going down. Is going to pick off that Dark Templar, so well done by Mini, and Mini now pushing in here is storming behind himself, trying to buy himself time, does not want that pincer move to come in. That natural expansion nexus for Jangbi, it does look like it is going to fall. It is so low right now. It does fall, and Jangbi is still not willing to commit here. I think he's running out of time. I think he just has to commit or type out. Jangbi is so on the ropes here. Will he be able to survive? I mean, Jangbi right now is using his main force right now to pick off reinforcements of Mini, hoping to buy enough time that he can build up his own reinforcements and then destroy Mini, but it just does not look like it's going to be enough right now. He's going to counterattack into the natural expansion of Mini and is going to pick it off, but it's just not enough. Mini's forces are into the gateways of Jangbi. This game is going to go Mini's way, and we are going to see a fourth set in this series. Jangbi just will not have enough here. I just don't think he will have enough at all. He's going to stay in it, going to see how much damage he can do, but he is just losing too much here. Jangbi has spammed has spammed K in order to try and keep himself in this game, and is actually going to force Mini back for now, but there are observers there, and Jangbi is going to lose one of those Dark Templars. And right at this moment, what do we have mining for both players? We have one full base mining for Mini. On the other hand, all we have is a mineral only mining for Jangbi, and Mini is 50 supply in the advantage right now, and it's just not looking good for Jangbi. Just not looking good at all. Double the supply for Mini right now over Jangbi, and still having the skirmishes out here. Jangbi's still bleeding units every now and then, and unable to really get a dominant position. I think what he's trying to do right now is he's trying to, one, buy time, and secondly, he's trying to get some harassment done here with his Archons and his Reavers. Then the third thing he's trying to do is try and catch some units of Mini's out of position. Say if Mini doesn't have the best control, he can maybe try and pick some things off, but not able to do so enough. Jangbi, GG's. We are going to head over into set 4. Mini extends the series at least for one more game, and I will see you guys all there. Set 4 coming at you next.